So, it's the year 2020, and to be honest, it's not the best one. But the only thing keeping people from raging out of their homes is the internet. The internet allows us to have various types of information and communication facilities using standardized communication protocols. So, you can talk to any one of your friends or family and tell them about how you did absolutely nothing in the whole day. Anyways, coming back to the topic, imagine you are in the jungle or maybe in the middle of the ocean and you are tired and you want to get an Uber or a lifeboat, but of course you don't have any internet. That's where Starlink will come in. You are watching What Is, and this is What is Starlink and how does it work?
So, SpaceX has recently grabbed attention of many people because of their recent success of the rocket Falcon 9, which reached the International Space Station with two astronauts. SpaceX, an American aerospace company founded in 2002 that helped usher the era of commercial spaceflight. It was the first private company to successfully launch and return a spacecraft from the Earth's orbit and the first to launch a crewed spacecraft and dock it with the International Space Station. But this isn't the only project which made SpaceX so popular. A project that has been in the talks since a long time is Starlink. This project can certainly be considered as a game changer for the future of internet. It may also further revolutionize internet, making it more accessible and more faster.
Alright, so Starlink is a satellite constellation being constructed by SpaceX to provide satellite internet access. The constellation will consist of thousands of mass produced small satellites in the low Earth orbit, working in combination with ground transceivers. The main aim of this project is to provide low cost internet to remote locations, but their only purpose won't be to provide internet. SpaceX is also planning to sell some of the satellites for military, scientific, or research purposes.
Originally, SpaceX announced this project in 2015 and has been developing on it ever since. Recently, they launched 597 Starlink satellites into the lower Earth orbit. In total, SpaceX plans to deploy at least 12,000 satellites and a possible extension to 42,000 of them. Did you think how SpaceX plans to deploy at least 12,000 satellites in a single orbital? If it did, here's how. SpaceX plans to deploy the satellites in three different orbitals, around 1584 satellites at an altitude of 550 kilometers, then 2900 at an altitude of 1110 kilometers, and then finally 7500 of them at 340 kilometers.
Now that you know what Starlink is, let's get to know how exactly is it going to work. Each Starlink satellite weighs 500 pounds or 227 kilograms and is roughly the size of a table. Rather than sending internet signals through electric cables, which must be physically laid out to reach far flung places, satellite internet works by beaming information through the vacuum of space, where it travels 47% faster than in fiber optic cables. Current satellite internet works using large spacecraft that orbit 22,226 miles or 35,000 kilometers above a particular spot on the Earth. But at that distance, there are generally significant time delays in sending and receiving data. By being closer to our planet and networking together, Starlink satellites are meant to carry large amounts of information rapidly to any point on Earth, even over the oceans and in extremely hard to reach places where fiber optic cables would be expensive to lay down. So, the Starlink satellites would be contacting with each other at the speed of light, which will result in increased efficiency and higher speeds.
This hasn't exactly been a smooth journey for SpaceX. It faced a lot of backlash from astronomers all over the world. They were worried that the satellites may ruin the observations, but it turned out they don't, but still take time to be digitally removed from the final images. But it is the truth that the Earth may be blanketed by thousands of satellites. Organizations like Canada's Telesat, Amazon's Project Kuiper have been going after the satellite market as well, and one way or another, we have to be prepared for it. Moreover, since the first launch, 6 Starlink satellites have already failed. If a mere 5% of Starlink satellites broke down during their estimated lifespan of 5 to 7 years, they would add many thousands of fragments of space debris to the 20,000 already under surveillance. And in the long run, all this space debris which would be accumulated could prove to be fatal.
But it is not fair to SpaceX and all the scientists working on it if we only focus on its shortcomings. Starlink would offer global broadband, providing extreme low latency communications, benefiting many economic sectors like the finance. They would strengthen the navigation systems, enabling a more safer and a more connected world. This means that the more ignored and remote areas of the world will be more connected and more updated to the world. And not only this, but it might be able to help and prove to be more advantageous to the fine-tuned telescopes all around the world.
Starlink's success will be the first step in advancement of space exploration and revolutionizing the digital world completely. There is still a lot to discuss about it. If you want to learn more about Starlink, we have left a few links in the description which you can visit. If you liked this video and want to encourage us, please consider subscribing. You can always change your mind.